Hey, it's Derek from Freiburger Garage. I finally twisted Freiburger's arm hard enough to wrench on a Model A.
It's true. I pretty much was forced into buying this 1929 Ford Model A coupe. First of all, I'll give you a deep dive on this particular car, and then I'm gonna wrench and make it run because it's actually sat for a few years. I really wanted it to fire right up. But then it is Vice Grip Derek to the rescue as he comes in and shows me all kinds of tips and tricks for this 96-year-old car. So let's get into it. I am a dangerous man with an empty trailer. Here's what just happened. I'm sitting at home minding my own business, trying to make videos happen, and the phone rings and it's my buddy Sam, and he says, "Hey, you know that green Model A we've been watching on Facebook?" I said, "Yeah, I've had an open tab for this car for days." He said, "Well, I just talked to the guy and he will take $5 grand for it if you come get it now." And this is a car that we were looking at buying for like 10,000 bucks and hemming and hawing, but 5,000 bucks, I ended up grabbing some cash, grabbing the truck and trailer, and I'm headed out to buy a car based on seeing a photo of it online and not really knowing whether it's going to be for me or for Sam, or whether it's going to be a stock rescue, or whether it'll ultimately become one of my greatest hot rods. I have no idea, except for that I'm on an adventure to go pick up a Model A. Well, there's a Model A on the trailer. It was a little bit weird to video at the guy's place, and so I just loaded the thing up and now I'm dragging it home. It is a 1929 Ford Model A. It is in billiard table green, and it remarkably doesn't seem to have any rust in it at all. Actually, pretty cool car. What's gonna happen with it? I don't know, but step one is to get it home. So now let's dig into the Model A. What is a Model A? These are the Ford passenger cars that Ford produced from 1928 to 1931. The 28 and 29 is sort of one body style, and the 30 to 31 is another. One of the main key differences between the two is that the 28 and 29 has this carriage line in the front. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but at a glance, that's how you can kind of tell the difference. Here's the mind-blowing part. From 1928 to 1931, Ford sold 4.3 million of these things in the heart of the Great Depression. To put that in context, between 1967 and 1969, General Motors sold 700,000 Camaros. So you can see that these were everywhere. They were incredibly popular, and that's why in the 40s and 50s, they became really good fodder for hot rods because they were so cheap. They're in fact more traditional than building a 32 Ford with a flathead in it. In fact, an AV8 was the common term for a Model A with a 32 Ford flathead in it, and later on, the later flatheads and everything. So these things are really cool as hot rods, but they were also super popular to restore. In the 70s and 80s, there were Model A clubs, and you could buy anything to restore these things. You kind of still can. And there's so many of those cars that were restored back then that the owners have sort of aged out, and they're available really cheap now. If you look in your marketplace of choice or Craigslist or whatever, you're gonna find a lot of older restorations of bone stock Model A's. Two things are happening with them. Some people are buying them, taking the whole body off and putting it on a chassis and building hot rods. Others, and this is kind of amazing, are younger people who are buying them bone stock, getting them running, and it's sort of a micro trend for those guys to have rallies and drive them all around, which is super cool. This one is kind of a candidate for either direction. Leave it bone stock or turn it into a hot rod. And I really don't know what's gonna happen with it yet. I haven't even permanently landed on the fact that I will build this. What I'm gonna do to decide that is sort of get to know it. So let's look around this thing. I'll show you the ins and outs, and it hasn't run in a few years, so I'm gonna try and make it run also. I will tell you, it looks a lot better in the wide shot on video than it really is in the details, but that could be okay. Let's check it out. I guess I'll start at the top and work my way down. The first thing I should point out is this is a standard coupe. Now, some people call it a 5-window coupe, but that would be incorrect. If you're talking about a 32, 33, or 34, you can say 5-window coupe because they also offered 3-window coupes, but all of the Model A's are of the design with 5 windows. And when they say 5 windows, it doesn't count the windscreen. It's 2 on each side and 1 in the back for 5, but this would just be a coupe. Now in 28 and 29, the soft part of the top rolled over right here. The 30 and 31 had metal right here, which I actually kind of prefer. This one has clearly been restored. It's in pretty good shape. These trim pieces need to be spray painted black, in my opinion. They would look a whole lot better. The visor is sort of a signature in the Model A. Not all of them had them, but the vast majority of them did. And if you really don't know the difference between a Model A and a 32 Ford, that can be a real quick indicator for you. You can see here, looking up close, that the paint is very checked, and a lot of it is going to brush right off. Here on the cowl, it is chipped through to bare metal, and one good pressure washer and it's going to blow a hole right there. It is not as good as it looks. See this right here? That is the fuel cap. This is actually the gas tank that gravity feeds down to the engine. A little bit creepy if you get in an accident, but that's the way they did it. Even in the black part on the top of the fenders, you can see that there is a lot of checking. It's almost kind of cool, but I don't know, it's a lot. That paint's probably coming off. One thing that seems to be really good about this car is the lack of rust. I crawled around underneath, and even when you look up in the crannies and crevices, there's no bubbling or anything. It's Sano. But the bottom of the cowl right here is a really common place to have rust. And so I'm gonna check to see if there's a bunch of body filler right there using my nice little kitchen magnet with the pretty bird on it. And it sticks really well up here to the metal part. The question is, will it stick down here? Yes, fully sticks. So that's an indicator that there is no plastic or fiberglass based filler right there, or even lead, because the magnet sticks everywhere. Cool. This thing's pretty good. If you had a coupe, you could either get a rumble seat or a trunk. The rumble seat opened this way and had an actual seat in it so that people could ride along. The problem with that is if you're trying to build a hot rod and you buy a restored car to do a body swap, you typically have handles right here and steps on the tops of the fenders, and if you take those off, you've got holes to deal with. This doesn't have that stuff, because even though it opens like a rumble seat, this is originally a trunk model. You can see it's got the hole in it for the handle. Somebody has just moved some parts around, and it'll be easy to convert back. Because I prefer a trunk, it's a lot easier for road trips and such. And man, it is like in showroom condition back here. It's actually really good. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, these cars have a lot of wood support in them all around the inside, and there's a piece right there. Freaky if you're used to dealing with muscle cars. Wow, that paint is checked. Okay. The interior on this one is completely stock. Actually, it's probably redone. Who knows if they used like a LeBaron Bonney kit or something. It is mohair. Mohair is a wool made from Angora sheep. And it was the #1 thing that was used in the 20s all the way through the 40s in passenger cars. They also had fabrics and things, especially in the open cars. But yeah, nice brand new mohair. Carpet's a little bit torn up, wooden floors, stock steering wheel. We'll go through later what all these levers are. Stock dash. It's actually in really good shape. What to do next? I understand that it has been parked for 2 or 3 years. I noticed that the battery has a sticker on it that says 2021, so that's 4 years ago. It hasn't been sitting that long. I hope that I can fire it up and make it run, even though I've never seen it run. So let's dig into that. The engine in this is an inline 4-cylinder. It's 200 cubic inches, and it has 4 1/4 to 1 compression. Not my typical deal. And from the factory, it made 40 horsepower. 40. I've pretty much given you the extent of my knowledge on these things. I really have only the most rudimentary understanding of a bone stock Model A, but I'm going to try and make it run. I understand that this carburetor is an aftermarket unit called a Tillotson, which is interesting because Tillotson still makes go-kart carburetors and engines and a bunch of stuff like that. They're still around. I'm going to grab the fan and see if it will turn over. Need to put some pressure on the belt. Oh, by the way, I did check the oil on the other side. The dipstick is just ahead of the starter. And the oil was perfectly clean. The fan belt's really loose, but I am able to turn the engine over. Yep. Wow, cool. So what I was doing there was putting pressure on the fan belt to make it tighter so that when I turned the fan, it would rotate the engine. And it did. So it rolls over. The question is, how deep am I going to go into trying to make this great? I mean, I know the oil's clean. The gasoline actually looks okay. You know what? I'm just going to put a battery in it and crank it. Maybe the thing will fire right up. I don't know. Cool. I need to install a battery. I changed the battery. It is 6 volts. It's under the driver's floorboard. It's positive ground. And I'm going to see if this thing cranks. I've got it in neutral. The cranker is a button on the floor. Ready? It cranks. Nice. Now I'm going to open the fuel valve and see if it runs. This is going to be easy. The gas tank is up here in the cowl, and underneath of it, right dead center, there's an on-off valve. It looks pretty new, and I'm going to turn it on to flow gasoline into the bowl out there, which you can see. And hopefully that goes to the carburetor and it runs. Carburetor's probably all gummed up, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. Let me see if I can see this thing. Yep. Now we get to talk about how to start a Model A. Here's the deal. There are 2 levers right behind the steering wheel. The left-hand one is ignition timing control, and they want you to retard it by pulling that all the way up. You might have to actually fiddle with it. On the right-hand side is a lever that is the manual throttle control, and they want you to open that up by putting it all the way down. Over here on the dash is a knob sticking up, and it is the choke, and you can adjust it, and you want to close it all the way and then open it by turning it about a 1/4 turn and then pull it out for choke. Then you're going to turn on the ignition. You're going to crank it with the button on the floor, and then after you've crunked it a couple of times, you push the choke in, and then once it starts running, you need to adjust your timing by advancing it all the way down to the bottom, probably. And then, of course, it's going to be running fast, so you want to close your hand throttle. Let's see if all that works. I'm going to fire it up and hope that this varnished gasoline works good enough with 4 1/4 to 1 compression ratio. Okay, I'm going to try this. Timing all the way up, throttle all the way down, choke out, ignition on, transmission neutral, crank it and push in the choke after a few turns. Doesn't seem like spark, does it? Or this gas is just completely dead. I really wanted it to fire right up. Whoop, what was that? Just kicked back the other way. All right, I'm flailing here. I hear something blowing. Let me go see if I can troubleshoot something or other. I need to find out if it's sparking. Spraying gas everywhere. I went through the ignition system. I made sure that we had power where we needed to have it. I checked continuity in a bunch of places. I went through and cleaned up every connection that I could get to. And I actually got so that if I manually open and close the points, I got a little bit of a spark. It's weak, but it's there. Now let's see if it'll run. So timing up, throttle down, choke on, ignition on, ready for start. Still nothing. There's no spark there, at least not enough to even make it bang. At least not with this bad gas. Okay, more fiddling. Hold on. Okay, I went through the ignition system and sanded and cleaned every little connection. I even took the spark plugs out and cleaned them. It looked like they were essentially new. There was only one of them that was sort of soiled looking, but I sanded them. I sanded the points, I sanded inside of the cap, sanded the coil connections, sanded all the little spark plug wires that are actually just straps of metal. And I was able to open and close the points with my finger, and the coil wire threw a spark. So if this thing's gonna run on this gas, this is the moment. Okay, retarded, on, choke, ignition, fuel. All right, let's go. Whoa! It's fully running. I'm backing off the hand throttle. It's smoking a little. Wow, it ran. It blew smoke. It made noise. Cool. That was neat. Oh, I'm so stoked. Let me go look and make sure the carburetor's not puking everywhere. Man, that was cool. Okay, everything looks good. I put a GoPro on the exhaust pipe because those backfires were full on chitty chitty bang bang. Let me try it again. Okay, choke, throttle, retard, ignition. I feel like it'll go if it warms up. Look at that, window goes down good. I just need to get all these weirdo settings correct. It felt like a huge victory to get the Model A to actually run, but I never got it to run any better than that. It just continued banging and popping, and I didn't know if it even mattered, because at this point, I didn't know if I was gonna even keep Gumby. I didn't know if it was gonna become a hot rod. I didn't know if I was gonna road trip it. I had no idea. It's 3 months later and my motivation has arrived. So Derek and I have actually talked for what, a year about doing a Model A trip or something together?
Yeah, I would say at least a year, yeah.
And so that was even before I bought this vehicle, and we're gonna make it happen. So what happened, and I reviewed my footage last night because I had forgotten, is I got it in here and I finally made it run. I had to sand the points, sand all the ignition contacts and everything. It had no spark. And it ran, but it just pops through the exhaust and the carburetor dumps everywhere.
Oh, okay. That's pretty status quo for these typically, but I would love to maybe hear it run-ish, just so I could try to help diagnose what's going on. And then what's the plan with this? Get it running and drive it somewhere, right?
Our plan is to drive this thing to Arizona because we have to go, I guess I won't reveal too much, pick up another vehicle for you.
And we don't have a plan B, right?
No, we don't.
Perfect.
But you know what? We have Marketplace, so we can make this happen one way or another.
More motivation.
Let's dump the gas out of it and then make it run.
Okay. Do you mind if I open the hood and start peeking around?
Go.
All right.
Go. So Derek knows tons about Model A's. I know essentially nothing, other than what I gave you earlier in the episode, which is probably about 3% wrong, and I'm giving myself something. So tell me what you see.
Well, right away we can see we got a Tillotson on here, which is probably a huge part of your popping and backfiring and everything else.
It pours on the ground.
Yep. So I did send a few parts ahead just in case. Some things are readily available for this, others not so much if you're picky, like carbs. So we'll probably end up swapping that out. But it looks very complete, and someone has gone through it or done something to it based on the hardware and everything here. But I think we should take this all the way off, just so we're not scratching up your pretty good paint. It's just two little flatheads here, and we can slide this whole thing out.
Okay.
It's even got Motorcraft plugs. Wow.
I pulled those out and cleaned them.
3 wrenches and a flathead. You could pretty much disassemble this whole car.
I have to ask you something that I heard the other day that I've shockingly never heard in my life. Positive and negative screwdriver.
I've never heard that either.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Positive and negative, huh?
Positive Phillips, negative flat blade.
All right, I'll switch you the sides out.
I will wipe all this grease off my hand.
Okay. Okay, so I'll close this side almost all the way, and then you can open that side a little bit, and then we'll wing it out. Okay, towards the glass.
Oh, I see. You've already got it 100%.
And we'll, okay, I can get it.
Wow. Now it looks like a hot rod. I've never done that before.
All right, still got a generator. You got a fan upgrade, which is cool. Looks like original style starter. Head's been off. Your serial number has been ground off, which is weird.
Maybe it's hot.
Could be a hot motor.
Oh, is this the screw that just came out?
Yeah, that's to the that guy. Here's the other one and the bracket. It's got the original hardware for the coil wiring.
Yeah, what is that, those switches?
So the ignition switch, which this one has the
Key.
on-off key, which is not original. The original is called a pop-out style. So you put the key in, turn it, it pops out, and you bring the key back and you can pull the key out. That's on.
Okay.
And this is just a simple on-off, which is pretty ideal. But these little guys underneath here, you'll have the harness coming from the ignition switch into this junction. So basically,
It's very household looking.
it is. Starter, generator, ignition switch, one wire to the coil, that's it. That's all the wiring in this car.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I can burn that down.
All right, how do you want to drain the fuel?
I
don't think my recycling centers work in California. I'm nervous.
mean, we can just disconnect this, put a hose on it, and go into a bucket, right?
Bucket, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can smell the varnish, actually. That looks pretty good, though. This looks like a 5th grade science experiment. I like it.
Make that run downhill a little bit more. There. He's turning on the petcock that's in there, and it's puking. Perfect. You venting it?
Yeah. Which didn't make a difference. Oh, look at all that sediment. Stirring up. You might have a little rust in there, but it's not terrible.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see how that glass works. Actually, it shouldn't be coming out of there like that. It's supposed to settle. Oh yeah, it's all in there now.
Rust in the tank is the diagnosis?
Yep, not very good. We might have to slosh that around a little bit. These are easy to clean. We just both stand on one running board and just agitate it and do this 13 times. And we should get most of the rust out, at least for the trip. And then you'll have to deal with it down the road at some point.
All right, you ready for the shake?
Yeah, let me move your door a little.
Do we need to stand on it? We can just do this. We're trying to get the rust out of the tank by sloshing it around in there.
Oh man, we might roll this thing.
Yeah.
Should we see if that loosens some up? Oh yeah. It's been cleaned before because you have an aftermarket float in there. So
oh yeah?
Someone's, I don't know, went through this at some point. That's pretty good. You might be running out of fuel now.
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah. It's tornadoing towards the petcock.
It smells pretty bad. This is a considerable part of my running problem. Oh yeah, that's bad. Oh, it's rusty in there too.
You want to strain this and pour it back in and do it again?
Sure.
If we spill, it's all your fault. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
This is the hard part with these cars, is
Yeah.
not crunching things.
Okay, what we're doing is pouring fuel back in it to try and cycle more through. And we could just be using water. It might get caught in a bubble down there.
Okay.
That's the key.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, it's working
We're
great.
filtering it through a rag.
Oh, not so great now.
Not working that great.
It worked great for a second.
Did it clog the
wait,
rag?
we gotta vent it. There we go.
Wow, that works killer. Tech tip for the future.
It looks like new gasoline, not even varnished. Wow.
Wait, is it puking on the floor over here? Or did you shut it off?
I shut it off.
Do you know this engine has 4 1/4 to 1 compression ratio?
Pretty amazing, huh?
4 1/4, and it runs.
You can run these on vodka.
You probably could.
It's been done. That worked spectacular.
How's it look?
Terrible. Look at that. And the jug is actually clean. That worked fantastic. Oh, we'll do it again?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. And she's flowing. That's water. That must have been in the very bottom. That was also part of your issue.
Water.
Water.
What if this thing runs perfectly?
That'd be great. We just hit the road.
How boring would that be to just hit the road?
Well, we might need it. 400 some miles at 30 miles an hour. That's days. We should probably at least upgrade the water pump though, because that is a lot of work packing these things. Did you know you use beeswax on these?
What?
Yeah, like a beeswax rope in the castle nut of the pump. That's how they would create a gasket in here, but also lubricate it. And the trick was tightening this nut enough to where it wouldn't gush out, but having it loose enough to where it would drip, because the dripping is actually what lubricated the shaft, which is just weird. We're going to try to fix all that though, so we don't have to do any of that, which would be great.
It's empty again.
Much better, but there's a lot of not gasoline in there.
Oh wow, that's a lot of water. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna, while we're waiting for the rest of the fuel to drain here, I'm gonna run a meter across this coil and Just make sure the primary and secondary windings are good, because we can save a bunch of time and just swap it now if we need to while we're waiting. And I think we'll eventually go through all the ignition, time it, set up the lever on the steering column, do the top dead center and all of that, but we can knock some of this out quick. 8.2, that is good. That is within spec. We'll go across the post. We want to see right around 2 if we can. This is 1.6 to 1.3. That's pretty good. I think that's going to be just fine. It looks like it's newer-isher within the last 20 years. They don't ever really go bad. Have you ever had just a bad one?
Coil?
Yeah. Seems like they're intermittent.
We have had them fail. I've never preemptively checked one in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if it runs, it's good. When it stops running.
Yeah. Man, I pulled these off the shelf new, and they have not been very savory. So I've gotten to the habit now of checking.
Well, I will give to you that a new part is more questionable than an ancient part.
Yes.
We're kind of doing a bunch of things at once right now. We're draining fuel and rust out of the tank. Derek went through and checked the coil and decided it was good. And now we're changing the spark plugs. Remember earlier in the episode I pulled them out. They're already a little bit black again, but we have new ones.
All right, well, we got the lightning whirler tore down, the sparkulators are out. I think we're going to go one step further before we time this. We should pull the timing cover off and check that gear out. It's made of a fiber material, and if they sit and age, they can kind of come apart. So we can either
timing gear? It's got to be gear to gear, no chain, right?
Yes, yeah. So we can either ignore it or replace it now, or on the side of the road.
So what you want to do is go through the work of taking the cover off and looking at it, then ignoring it?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. And then Ford Model A timing is a little bit different. It's actually pretty finicky, not only for the performance of the engine, fuel economy, but longevity. This has, as you know, Babbitt bearings.
Right.
So the bearings are actually poured into the block and the rods, and then they're machined to match crudely. The problem with them is they're like 85 to 87% tin, and then some other whatever metals, so they're pretty delicate.
They're soft?
They're very soft. So RPM and incorrect timing, like lugging up hills with too much timing on these, will just wipe them out.
How does it detonate with 4 1/4 to 1 compression?
Yes, great question.
That actually makes no sense, especially since we can burn at 91 in the thing.
I know, it's wild.
But it'll happen, it's
It'll
that inefficient.
Happen. Yeah. So these are a little bit different where, say, a traditional car that has mechanical timing advance or vacuum advance, you can advance this right off the steering column. There's a timing lever, a throttle lever, and you can adjust the air-fuel mixture with the gasoline adjustment valve, which is also your choke. And that's on this side.
Yeah, choke pulls in and out, and mixture screws, I assume, a needle into a jet, meter to orifice.
Yes,
yeah.
Yep. And we'll probably get to that side a little bit later. But there's 10 notches on the column, and every notch is 4 degrees of timing.
I didn't know it was marked.
Yes. This is a 30-31 column. Normally there's a bigger plate on the side, but there's little lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So every one of those is 4 degrees. We don't want to throw 40 degrees of timing at this. So we're going to try to do -4 after top dead center to the top. And then we'll be at 36 about all the way in on the bottom.
Wait, 4 after top dead center, all in?
Yep. No.
Or is that initial?
Initial.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to go to 36 all in after that.
36 before.
Right. One of the reasons we want to do this is you can hand crank these with this hole down here, and if that piston is at the very precise top and you crank this and it fires off, it can run forward or backwards.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And break your arm.
Snap your arm clean off. So we don't have a hand crank for this, but it's good practice to put it that way anyway, and we don't want 40 degrees all in on this anyway. So
why do you have to use the pin thing in the front cover? Why can't you just put a rod down there and have the piston?
Great question. So the pistons are actually offset in this head. The valves are directly below.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's a flathead. So the piston is not right under the spark plug hole. I was thinking you could drop a rod down there and just move it up.
I wish it would be that easy. You can barely see it if you look across. I wish we still had this. There's a timing pin in here we'll show you a little bit later. It's actually pretty neat the way it drops in. And then we'll visually verify, and then we're going to set up our points and distributor camshaft with a tool and a process to match the column.
Okay.
And all of that together is going to give us precise Model A timing.
So what he just said is we're going to time the engine,
Yes.
ignition-wise, before or after we pull off the front cover and look at the cam timing gear.
Let's do that first, because
Okay.
that could make a bad day
All right.
or a really bad day, and then we'll put everything back together after that.
You're going through this like me with a Holly. Or a small block Chevy.
Yeah.
So is that cover going to puke?
It will not puke.
Really?
What we're going to have to worry about, though, is we are most likely going to damage that gasket.
Yep.
So we can use room temperature vulcanization cream or make one. It depends on how precise you want to get. But this is a non-pressurized oiling system, so
it's
it doesn't
fine.
puke.
Yeah.
Oh, win.
It's
Just
saved.
Just need a little bit there.
That gear looks fine.
Looks really good. And there's evidence they've been in here before.
Yep. Already has RTV or not.
So we'll rotate the motor around and just make sure that we're not missing teeth on the other side.
Okay.
And then plop it right back on, and we could feel pretty comfortable with that. That looks really good, actually. You usually brake on the side towards the block, like that.
There's a broken one.
Just like that.
Want me to file it?
Yeah, you got a file and a paint marker.
It doesn't actually have any junk hanging, you know, into the tooth area. There's the gack in the tooth right there. I'm just going to come in here and try and shave it down a little bit.
Oh man, you've got surgical hands.
I don't consider this too bad.
No, it didn't look too bad at all. I mean, I think it's ignorable unless it's more than half the tooth. Is that fair?
It's not half the tooth. I mean, I made it smooth. It's fine. Want me to roll around and see if there's another gackage?
Man, this kind of had a crunchy spot there.
Did it?
What the
What's
heck?
going on there? Really?
Now it's gone.
Huh. Then I guess it's fine.
Ring ridge, maybe?
No, it's been running.
There, that one wasn't as bad.
One gack.
One revolution. That kind of
Really? That can't be. Well, the cam turns at half engine speed, so you got to go twice.
There.
There's one gack.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Good enough.
Okay. Come on, goop.
Ah. Good enough.
Do you want to skim the whole thing?
If you want. It's your rig.
Waste not, want not, right?
Perfect.
All right, we can be somebody now.
Yeah. There we go. You have the only non-leaking timing cover.
Ever. All right, we pulled the cover off, checked the timing gear, filed one down. It's a fiber gear. It was really soft. I had to go easy, and it only had one gack. Now it's back assembled. Now Derek's going to show us the pin that we need for ignition timing to find top dead center.
So Model A's have a really cool feature called a timing pin. Well, some people call it something else, but it's built into the timing cover, and essentially you pull it out, turn it around, and hold it in as you rotate the engine, and that pin will actually depress into the timing gear when the engine is at top dead center, and then we can visually verify it and put the pin back in. It's a really neat thing. I wish was still on motors today, but it is not. Here's the pin right there. We just came out like this, flip it around, we drop it in.
Oh, you took the pin out and turned it around to the bullet nose side.
Now we'll spin this until we feel it depress, which it's a very, very small hole. can sometimes be hard to find. Right there. See how that goes in and out? So, right about there-ish is TDC. Now we'll put this up here so we can lose it. Now we'll shine a light in here and we're gonna check the piston out, and we can gently rock it back and forth and make sure that piston is right at the top before it starts to come back down, and that'll be precisely top dead center.
The next thing we did there is looked inside the spark plug hole, and you can see the piston moving up and down, and I rocked the engine back and forth with the fan to rotate it so I could see that piston. And what I wanted to do is go to the point where it stopped going up and then go to the point where it starts going down and sort of eyeball that float right there. It has a lot of dwell at top dead center, and just sort of eyeball it in half and call it good enough.
So now we found top dead center. We're going to adjust the distributor cam, or the points essentially, to match everything that we've done. So top dead center, I've got the timing control lever on the second notch or position. And now we need to make sure that our points are just about ready to open up on top dead center. If we look in here really quick, I want to show you this. Actually, just use my fingers. There's a lot of movement in here. Actually, it's more pronounced with this Nurex wrench. The points are not opening. So that's how much of an error we have right now in timing.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to fix that by using this wrench. And all I'm going to do is loosen this lock. We're going to rotate this around, make sure we have no friction. And once I bring this around to the number 4, this is going to touch. We will tighten this down. And then we'll come back in here and see what kind of play we have, and we can make finite adjustments. We want that to just barely be opening up right where we have the engine timed, and that way this will match our lever. So we'll loosen this up like that. 1 or 2 times around. We'll touch the wrench to the number 4 post. I'm going to tighten this back down, and we still have slop. So now I can loosen this. That's really not goodly. Your points need adjusted too.
Wait a minute, you're trying to look all smart. The instructions are right there on the wrench.
Yeah, actually we don't use those though.
Cheater.
Yeah.
So now you're adjusting the points?
Yeah, we're adjusting the points because I could see the cam was hitting the armature of the point itself, but it wasn't actually opening the point. So we got to bring the point pads in to where it's actually pulling off of the distributor cam when we want it to.
The armature, is that a Derekism for rubbing block?
Rubbing block thing.
Yeah.
There. Just barely starting to open.
So the rubbing block doesn't adjust the timing, it just adjusts the gap.
The gap.
Yeah, the dwell.
Yep, and if it's bad enough, if it's open too far, you'll have a late timing actually, because it's not hitting the nose of the cam when it should. So they kind of work hand in hand.
Yeah, dwell affects timing on ignition points.
Okay, I'm going to do the process once more just to make doubly goodly sure.
It all just came clear to me what's going on. You saw that Derek was able to rotate the cam in the distributor on the shaft. So, unlike muscle car stuff where the whole distributor turns and the rubbing block on the points changes its relationship with the cam, on this one, the points stay still and you move the cam. Ding! I got it now. It's almost like I was watching an episode of Ice Grip Garage.
Okay, so now we got points done and the distributor camshaft done. We have to adjust the gap between the rotor button and these pegs right here that you see, which transfer to these posts, which will then go to our spark plugs. There's a specific gap that we want, the relationship between this post and the end of the rotor button. It's about 0.025, 0.023 to 0.025. And if I put this in here, and we've got our feeler gauge here, and we take a look, we are miles off. So this is no bueno. What we're going to do is slightly bend this tab upwards, which will decrease the gap here. And in reverse, if you need to make a bigger gap, you could slightly bend this down or gently file these posts down until we get as close as we can to 0.025 and make all of these as consistent as possible. They do make a fancy little clear cap that you can put on here. And if you run them at night or in a garage with all the doors and windows closed, you can watch the spark on all of them, make sure they're pretty consistent. But that's Model A racing stuff. We're just doing cruising. So I'm going to pop this out, make a little bend, and we'll keep doing this 58 times until we get it correct.
This is crazy rudimentary.
They made these for farmers to work on and all of that. And you got to remember, these were really made for like a 3-mile trip to town to get oats and flour. They're not meant to go 400 miles over a pass through the desert. But that's what we're going to do, right?
Plan.
Great. Okay, it's better-ish, but I don't think we're going to get 0.025. No.
Wow, that is a big difference. That's 80 thou in there.
Yeah, let me get the old.
No, that's 1/8 of an inch. That's 125.
Let's take a look at this one. See, this one's been filed.
Uh-huh.
But let's see. The tangs might be different lengths. Yeah, see, this one's more gooder. In fact, that is, dare I say, very good. Now let's try a different post. Let's go over here to the number 3. That's too close, see? So if we use this rotor button, we have to file that for it to fit. Bring this around here. Too high.
How does that thing?
And
it's
too close.
manufactured in its lame way.
So
that's too high.
So let's take a little out of this. Put this one to the side.
I think my file action's still out here somewhere. You bending it?
Bending it down slightly with my Model A rotor button adjuster 200. Because we saw that the relationship was also too high. See, now we can fit in that one. That looks good. They're kind of on a plane. That's a little wide. That one was perfect before. Good. That's going to be tight.
What's the downside to being tight? I mean, it's still going to throw spark.
Yeah, you just don't want to make them contact because these are kind of on a rinky base, and as you start pulling timing, this whole top plate rotates. So I think we're going to file a hair out of this one and a hair out of that one.
Okay.
The bottom two. Precisely flat. That seems like a hair. There we go. Come back to this one. Voila! Now we are timed. Easy peasy. There we go. Now we put spark plugs back in and our little Tabby Tanger 200s.
Oh, you got new Tabby Tanger 200s.
I got 2 sets just in case we're pulling them out on the road. I'll put this in the front pocket. And yeah, we'll run these. Barbed wire works, but we got them. We'll use them. Man, we're gonna be cruising the boulevard.
New plugs, new straps. We're ready to make this thing run better than ever before. We just need to throw some fresh gas in it. And now we turn the fuel on. That is some green gasoline with water in it.
Oh. Huh. It's like ectoplasm.
It's like a lava lamp.
Oh, weird. It's so weird. It's like you said, it's a lava lamp or like gelatin. Let me pour a little out and then we'll try to discover what's in our beaker. It's water. It's moldy water. That's what it is. It feels soft, like the side of a slough or pond or something. Gross.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I've never seen that, ever. I suppose we should put this back and crack it again and see if it happens again.
Yep.
I thought this was fairly clean. This might be the bulk of the day, is just flushing
Fuel.
gas.
We were ready to start this and we poured fuel in the tank and then we opened the petcock and I watched the glass bowl fill with green algae and stuff. It is the weirdest thing. If neither I nor Derek have ever seen anything like that before, you know it's funky.
Yeah. Let's see if we can repeat it.
It's not like it's diesel.
Yeah,
That looks fine.
that's more better. Oh yeah,
Straight up gas.
straight up gas. Perfect. High octane even. You really splurged. Wow.
We're gonna try and start it. Did you connect the battery?
I did. It's hot. Let's see. You want to go? We'll go 3/4 gav.
I'll let you handle the tune-up.
Okay. You want me to crank it, or do you want to?
Sure, no, you can do this, like, whatever secret rules there are for messing with the advance and the wide open and what'd you call it, the gav?
Gav. Well, we're going to fire this thing up. I'm going to try the handshake. All Model A's have a secret handshake, although they're pretty similar. It's a little bit of a process, but once you get used to it, it's pretty straightforward. So e-brake on. We're going to make sure we have neutral. That's good. Our timing, which we've now set, we're going to go full up, which is fully retarded position. The throttle, we're going to bring that down just a hair. So this is throttle closed. We can pull this down. That's wide open. I also call it cruise control. We're going to pull this down just a hair until we see the throttle pedal barely depress on the floor. We don't want to go too far. Right about there. Confirm we have our fuel on, which it is. The gav over here, gasoline adjustment valve. We're going to crack this open because it's cold. So we're going to do 3/4 of a turn, which is about right there. Now once this is warm, we won't need to open this up. Maybe just a hair, but when it's cold, we're going to do that. When we pull this up, that is also choke, which we're going to be using. So what we're going to do here is turn this on. We're going to crank it over, which the starter pedal is up here. And that's just a rod that depresses straight to the starter. It's very rudimentary. And we're going to let this rotate a couple times. We're going to drop the choke, and it should light right off. If not, we're going to repeat the process. We might have to play with the choke just a little bit. But let's give it a whirl. Ignition on, choke.
I can hear it sucking through the air filter.
Oh.
Carburetor is not leaking.
Okay.
There's a spark plug not tight because it's blowing past it.
Okay, let's fix that. Ignition off. Boy, I thought a smoke goes on there.
This one you can see bubbles on the underside of the gasket. That is tight. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
Wonder
you want
if
to check for spark?
Yeah, I wonder if we should see how easily this all falls apart.
Yeah.
If we should take a gander at those points with the ignition hot. We
See if it'll throw a spark.
Yeah. We turn it on. I'm going to shut the fuel off for the time being. Okay. I just saw a snap,
Did you?
although not anymore. We had one snap. So
Okay.
let me draw that just a little more. Oh, you're grounding
It's
to
grounding, arcing that.
There we go.
I heard it.
I can see it. Oh. Fixed.
Do you want the cap back on, or are we cranking it on? Okay.
Yeah, we'll put the cap on again.
Don't know where it went. We thought it didn't have spark the first time, so we took the distributor apart and we were seeing that the points may or may not have been doing their thing, doing the happy dance.
Oh,
What?
these work better when they're complete.
With the rotor and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've found that. It took years, but yeah.
Okay.
Now it's gonna run.
Okay. Neutral. Fuel on. Here we go. Okay.
The bubble's impressive.
We give it a little more throttle. Huh.
I'm showing Derek the video of the spark plug leaking compression. See it bubbling?
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that somehow.
Maybe there's just a piece of crud there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good though.
This should be running.
It seems like no sparky. We're still fighting no spark, and we just changed the condenser probably randomly. Not troubleshooting, but parts replacing.
Well, the coil tests good. We
Yeah.
know we have 6 volts. The points are set and clean.
Yeah, and they spark a little bit.
So it's either this plunger switch, which is this,
Okay.
or the condenser. So let's see what that does. Now it should go.
There's no sparking. There's no sparking. We tried to go start it and ultimately decided that it had no spark, or it occasionally had spark, and so we fiddled around with the points. We fiddled around with wiring, we hot wired it, and ultimately changed the little plunger connection that is in the side of the distributor. And now if I open and close the points with this item right here, I should get a spark every single time.
Yes. No. Yes.
No? Really? Stopped. It's weird. It sparks like 5 times or once or twice, and then that's it.
Let's adjust this. So what I'm going to do is try to loosen the standoff for the other side of the point and shift it or turn it a little bit so the pads make a better contact. Better?
Oh, look at that. He just fixed the alignment from the points to the contact and changed the contact. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but it's fixed.
That's kind of where we're at today.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this! That didn't do anything.
Right. It doesn't work, but it's fixed. It's my new motto.
Sounds a lot better.
Sparks every time.
Yes. Okay, so cap back on.
What was the answer then? The alignment on that thing?
I think it was the alignment.
Oh, it stopped.
I didn't hold my mouse right.
Yeah. You're scuffing the paint job on that thing.
I know. Well, how do we know this one's better? It shocked me way worse. That's how. Science.
We remain undefeated against ignition points. We cannot be beaten, but it was a battle. It really was a lot. What did we even go through? I can't remember now.
Well, we've got a new plunger on this. We put a condenser in. We changed the points and the coil, which I determined is in fact better than the old one by shocking myself.
Yes, you did.
Several times. But what it came down to is just a basic ground. Or bond, really.
Yeah, what we kept seeing is that the points, you know, they're gonna want to throw a little bit of a spark when they open, and it would do that a couple times and then stop. And then I found out that you could like slam the points shut and they would start sparking again for a little bit, and it was a bad ground on the breaker plate that threads kind of into the distributor. So just a matter of cleaning things up. But now
it should run.
It's gonna run. I have faith.
Let's see. Okay. I gotta work my way into here. Okay. Ignition on, still in neutral. Timing. Throttle. Here we go.
Whoa! Fires right up! Wow! That fan makes a lot of wind too. It's even idling.
Oh yeah. I put just a little bit of timing in it.
The carburetor's not even leaking.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's starting to die. What happened there?
I leaned it up, I closed the gap.
Oh. Look at the lower pulley.
Ignore that.
That's not great.
No. It's got a little waller to it.
Oh, it's starting to smoke over here.
It sounds pretty good.
Oh, we just sprayed a bunch of penetrant on it. That's why it's smoking.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
This is full race.
Have you tested the clutch yet?
No.
Should we?
You gonna hit my Super Me? Hop in and try it, just aim this way.
Okay.
He's gonna put it in gear and try the clutch.
We gotta turn the idle down a little.
Yeah. He's adjusting all kinds of stuff. clutch works. Do the brakes work?
Yeah.
Whoa! Was it brake stuck a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's not doing that.
That's official. This is the driver.
Oh man, that's pretty good, David.
I'm super happy with that.
Wow.
Smoking action shot. I'm just waiting for open flame. Kaboof.
All of a sudden, that'd be our luck. Let's see. We got to turn the idle down a tickle.
Yep. You still hate this carburetor?
I mean, it runs.
It works.
We probably should change the water pump.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it new?
Well, let's pull that nut off and see if it's a packable or a non-packable. And then we can make a decision. Do you want to leave we should probably check if it's charging.
We should check if it's charging. 100% on that.
It's already got the upgraded fan blade. You don't have the Widowmaker.
Okay.
I guess we're just trying to do as least as possible. Is that the goal?
That's usually my MO. Fix
Yeah.
it on the road.
Okay.
Get out of here is usually what I say.
So, oh wow, that wasn't tight at all.
Oh, I see that. Here, let me shoot you, showing that that's not tight at all.
Yeah, so this was just finger tight.
What does that do?
So this, it normally holds packing into this here, which I'll be able to explain easier once you see it. But they also make an upgraded version, and this is the upgraded version. So this is called a leakless water pump. So,
Oh, I've heard of that.
yeah, so normally there'd be like a rope in here soaked in beeswax or other sort of waxes, and this nut just squeezes that rope in here
Yeah.
and kind of seals it. But this is an upgraded, greasable, leakless pump, which is the best you can get. So we'll just put this back on.
Call it good?
Call it good.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, well,
Done.
done. Throw the suitcase in.
Charging.
Put water in it, see if it leaks.
We need check charging. We need water. We need tires.
Tires. Maybe look at the bearings.
Should we go with no hood? Will that help an overheating problem?
Hood sometimes helps because it,
It funnels it.
yeah, it forces the air through the radiator instead of
Right.
around.
Okay. Looks like this fan has met this radiator before.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. That might be a leak right there.
Does look weepish.
Let's put water in.
There we go. And then this flips up. That is your temp gauge.
That's functional?
That's functional. So when the red gets in the bullseye, it's too late and very hot, and then it doesn't cool down, basically. That is a Boyce motometer. It's pretty cool you have that, actually.
Yeah, I like it. We're really happy with how well it runs. We're going to move on to changing the generator. Is that to an alternator or is that to some kind of generator?
Yeah, so it's an alternator that's been modified to run at 6 volt. So it'll charge the system the same, but it's much more reliable. It's self-exciting. We can get rid of the voltage regulator. It's a one-wire system, and it comes with the bracketry unit. So it's going to simplify it and make it much more reliable.
The Derek alternator deal works really well. We've got 8 volts at the battery now. We're really happy with the way the engine runs. Now I'm going to jack up the front and remove wheels and tires, and we're going to try and get some new wheel liners, tubes, and tires put on this because those are pretty cracked and old. We've got the wheels and tires off at the tire store, and we're going to go through the wheel bearings. Derek's installing a bearing race. Here's a failure neither one of us have ever seen. There's an entire roller missing from the bearing. How does that even happen? Where did it go?
I don't know. I mean, and the cage thing isn't broken, right?
No. And where would it be even if it was?
And how would it even fall out new for the guy to put it on wrong? That is bizarre.
Yeah, it is. That's fresh. We went to change the wheel bearings and knock the race out of the drum, and that turned into a nightmare because the new race was 3/1000ths too big over the old one. And so I went in there and actually put it on a belt sander or a disc sander and then grinded it down with some sandpaper, and it looks like Derek's gonna be able to whack it back in here now. Still crooked?
Yeah.
Wheel bearings are done. Derek is in there putting the floorboards in, and I'm gonna change the fluid in the rear end. I thought there was a chance you've never seen a rear axle like this. This is what's called a banjo type axle design, because you can take the side bells off, the bell being the axle tube, and then right here in the middle is going to be the carrier, which is a perfect circle with the pinion sticking out of it, so it looks like a banjo. And if you look at modern quick change rear ends or old quick change rear ends, they are based on this design. Why? Because banjo type rear ends of the 20s and 30s. Let me drain this thing. Nice and red gear oil coming out of this thing. I feel so responsible draining it and refilling it instead of just topping it off. Geary oil handled. Wow, this gear oil is brand new. The wheel bearings are done, the diff fluid's done, trans fluid's done. We're putting wheels and tires back on. I couldn't believe that I was able to overnight these tires from Summit Racing. I wouldn't think they would have that, but they're Cokers, I guess, so they had them in stock.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yes. Yep.
The centers of these wheels are stamped steel. And of course, they're spoked. And none of them are round.
Just slightly better than wood.
Ooh, here's something the audience should know. This thing does not have hydraulic brakes. They are mechanical. There are actual rods connected to the brake pedal and a big Rube Goldberg pivot situation under there, and a bunch of spindly little rods that come forward to each of the brake drums. And yeah.
Literally go-kart, pretty much.
Actually, go-kart's a little bit more direct.
That's true.
Derek, I feel the time has come for me to reveal something to you that I'm embarrassed about, but it's just sort of something I have to live with at this point.
Okay.
Have you heard my sermon about how I don't think people should name project vehicles unless it comes naturally?
Yes.
I hate it when people go on social media and say, you know, help me name my car.
Yeah, force it. Yeah.
Not my style. You're forcing it. You can only do it if it's what your friends really call it. Well, unfortunately, that backfired on me in this case because this car does have a name, and it's just what me and Sam have been calling it, but it's embarrassing.
Okay, hit me.
It's Gumby.
Gumby?
Yeah. Do you not know Gumby and Pokey?
I do, but is it? It's not really the right color green, though, is it?
It is.
Oh,
It's actually exactly the right color green.
Gumby.
It is Gumby.
Oh, all right.
I told you. I told you I wasn't going to tell anyone but you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, right?
I don't see any Gumby t-shirts in the
No.
future.
You know what we should do is take this through an automatic wash. See what happens.
It would get shredded.
This might be too shiny for you. Actually.
We're actually going deep on this.
I'm gonna call it at armor alling the tires, though. We can't do that.
No. Hard no on Armor All tires for any reason at any time.
This is where the circus starts.
This is it. We're going to test drive it. This is all polished up. Man, this is our first attempt sitting in it together, too.
It's not bad, actually.
Let's see. I could live with it. And will for the next 400 and something miles.
Right. Let me give you some gav.
Yeah, give me some gav.
And choke.
And then on, and then all the way up.
All the way up.
And want me to just give this a tickle?
Yeah,
Just until that moves,
Yep.
like that.
Good.
And that's neutralo.
Hit her. Way up there.
Battery connected? Oh, I thought it was the rest.
Wow, that's good. Slowly back, a little timing.
I like the passenger side tune-up. Oh man, runs sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We've
Turn the gas on.
We failed to
Yeah.
step 2.
That was the passenger side gas. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, let's have it out again. That's like having EFI with a guy on his laptop over there.
Yeah.
You're just over there with your knob twisting it.
Oh. There we go. This was my concern.
About the cam on the distributor?
Yeah.
Let me take my sandal off. This is going to be easier. Nope. So,
Okay.
I'm going to say it just hasn't warmed up yet.
Let's go with that for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go about halfway on the timing. It is not happy.
It seemed much better before. Is that open? Derek's adjusting the knob over there and setting the choke and stuff.
It wants lots of fuel.
Wants to be rich.
Tilliston life.
Cold. Oh, parking brake. Is it off?
Yep.
It's running!
Yes.
We're doing it!
Brake check.
What a victory just to get Gumby out of the driveway under its own power. I learned a bunch about the ancient ignition system and pretty much got out of Derek's way as he forced the Model A to life in another old car revival. There's one thing that I will tell you about this guy, which is that Derek works relentlessly. It is very hard to even pick up a wrench because typically he's already got fixed whatever you were going to work on, and he has done it with a pair of tweezers and some fishing line. The guy is absolutely relentless. And you know what? You are going to get more Derek and more Freiburger in the next episode on my channel as we attempt to drive this 96-year-old car 400 miles across the desert.
I think I'm smelling piston ring.
I think so. So do me a favor, make sure to hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss what goes on next week as we road trip Gumby all the way from LA to Phoenix. I'll see you next time on the David Freiburger channel.